Hey guys, how's it going? Tonight I've got a review of the Leatherman Juice Xe6. I did a lot of research looking into different multi-tools, and I wanted to find one that had a lot of tools, but it wasn't bulky, or wasn't really big. You know, had the kind of medium, small kind of pliers, and they had a decent price. And you know, I made a spreadsheet. I went like all out dorkiness on this thing. Actually, here, let me see if I can rotate the camera and show you my spreadsheet I made. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. If you're as just totally geeky dorky about knives as I am, you'll appreciate the lengths I went to make this decision. Let me see if I can get back. Yeah, that'll do. So anyway, this is the choice I finally came to, and I had to make this decision. Nothing was available locally, so I couldn't actually try them out. I just had to, go based on my spreadsheet, which I gotta say was a lot of fun. Again, pretty geeky thing to do, but what the heck, I don't care. So this is what I finally came with was the Juice Xe6. The reasons I came to this decision, it was around $60, which is a pretty reasonable price. Damn that cat. If you want a cat, PM me and I will send him to you in a box. I'll put a little bit of food in there, so he'll probably make it okay, but no guarantees. We'll ensure the shipping and hope for the best. Anyway, so I put this in kind of light to medium category, or at least that's what I thought I would do, because it weighs 6.5 ounces, which is pretty much middle of the road. However, it's not very big. When you close it, so it turns out it's pretty dense. And yeah, that's the kind of thing you don't really know until you hold one of these things in your hands. So it's a bit like a brick in your pocket. You kind of need a holster for it or throw it in a bag or something. It's not real comfortable in the pocket unless you have like some tighter pants on or something, so it doesn't jangle around. But so a comparison on size while I'm talking about that. Here's the Xe6. Here's a Gerber, I forgot the name of this model, but it's typical size for most multi-tools. So you can see, yeah, it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit thicker, and the pliers are, well, they're actually pretty similar in size. Yeah, these are, I don't know if it's really coming across, but these are thicker. A little bit heavier duty pliers, I would say. So, just a brief comparison. Another one of the reasons I went with this one is because all the main tools are available from the outside, which is important to me. I hate rifling through them like this one where you have to open it up and then pull them out from the inside. That's just annoying to me. Alright, so let's get into the tools. And that's where you'll start to see some of my disappointment with this. Let's start with the main blade. So I think they call this a long leaf blade, something like that. And I don't really have any complaints about the blade. The blade is just fine. Let's bust out the ruler because I can't quite remember. What is that? Cutting surface about 2 1/4, overall maybe 2 3/4. So yeah, that's a pretty good EDC kind of blade. Again, I don't really have any complaints with the blade. It doesn't have much belly, but you don't get a lot of belly on this kind of thing. It just doesn't work into the form factor. So here's the worst tool, I think, on this entire thing. Maybe the second worst, the reamer. It's just a horrible execution of a reamer. I'm not sure I can actually show you that. You can kind of see how rounded it is. It's not sharp at all, and you can't drill with it, which you can with perhaps one of the ones you might find on a Swiss Army knife. And I had one here, a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, this guy. You can see this one has. You can see the glisten right there. It's sharp and it drills. It actually works. So this is pretty crappy. You actually got to pull it out in order to pull out this next tool, which, if I can find the nail nick, apparently I can't. There we go. Here's a saw. All these tools are actually really thin too, and they feel a little bit flimsy. I tested the saw a little bit and it works just fine. So it's your typical multi-tool Swiss Army knife kind of saw. Works okay, especially on, you know, your softer woods, your pines and stuff. Not so great on hardwood. And then the best tool on here, the scissors. These are great. They're nice and big. The spring works really well. And they're sharp. I love the scissors. I have no complaints with those at all. Okay. Here's the serrated blade. It's okay. The serrations aren't really good, but it's okay. It works just fine, and I think you might actually call this a safety cutter. It's got no point on it. So, yeah. I don't have much commentary on the serrated blade because I honestly don't use those very much. The file is very good. I really like the file. It's got a fine side and a coarse side, and then it's got like this cut along here that's sort of like a hacksaw blade. Not quite as effective as most hacksaws, but in a pinch, you know, it's better than nothing. And the fine side is really nice. I found it handy for sharpening hooks, messing with your nails, all kinds of stuff. Very, very cool. Here's the can opener. It's pretty crappy. Yeah, it's not sharp, once again. If we look at the Victorinox, we'll find that, let's see, yeah. You can see there's actually a secondary bevel on this blade, and it's sharp, and it cuts into a can, and works the way it's supposed to. Can openers on these things are supposed to be sharp. They work so much better if they're sharp. And then here's the corkscrew, which I think they could have put, I think there's other tools that would have been more useful here than a corkscrew. I've never been in a pinch for a corkscrew. You know, I've always been in a kitchen or something when I needed one. So, yeah, I think corkscrews are something that is put on way too many of these kind of tools, and it's just, there's got to be a better tool to use. I will say it has a very good mechanism. So the way you want to do it is, you know, you drill into your cork, and then you put this part right against the edge of the wine bottle, and then you pivot up, just pull up that way, and it acts like a lever, and this thing goes like that, and it, in a powerful but controlled way, pulls the cork out. Better than just, you know, jerking back on it like you would have to do maybe with a, damn that cat, I'm sick of that cat. Anyway, better than on a Victorinox in that way anyway. Alright, so let's open it up and look at some more of the tools. Good lord, cat, I hate you. Go away. It's my wife's cat. She doesn't like him either though, so seriously, if you guys want a cat, just let me know. The set of screwdrivers on here is pretty awesome. You got a good selection. You have this big flathead here, and you know, you can look up the measurements for these online. I don't remember what they are. You've got your small, and then there's a medium one here. The one problem I have with these, they're a little bit stiff when you pull them out. You know, you pull kind of like that on these little nick things here, whatever you want to call them. Sometimes it'll pop out suddenly, and these blades, the corners of them are pretty sharp. Excuse me. And they'll smack you right in the cuticle. And right after I got this, you know, when you get these new, you're always fiddling with them for a few days. Just kind of messing around with them, learning your tool. And I had like all these little cuts on my thumb. It's pretty ridiculous. So anyway, that's that side. And on this side, you've got a really nice Phillips screwdriver. It's a good size. It tapers down pretty good. Yeah. So that's a pretty good tool. And then, of course, the pliers. And the pliers, I think, are very representative of a lot of the issues I have with this. They took a smaller form factor. I think the problem with this is that they took the juice and they tried to pack more tools onto it, and they made it kind of awkward. It's really thick considering the size of some of the tools. Like, look how thin these pliers are, and you have this really thick handle, and it just has this goofy feel to it. It's hard to describe exactly, but it's just a little bit awkward. But the pliers do work fine. They're fairly solid. They work quite well for disgorging fish. And the wire cutters, as you can see right there, are pretty effective. Let's see if I can get you a good... Yeah, you can feel them hit, and then they overlap just slightly so that you get that good amount of friction, and they'll bite really well on the wire or whatever you're cutting. So the pliers are good, but like I said, with the whole tool, a lot of these, you have a real fat handle with a skinny little tool, and it just feels awkward. That pretty much is how I feel about the whole thing. It's effective. Everything seems to be pretty well made, but it's just kind of awkward. Anyway, if you don't mind that, you really do get a lot of tools, and it's very compact. So it's a quality tool. On those merits, I would have to recommend it. Just something kind of goofy about it, so I don't carry it too much. I keep it as a backup in my emergency kit. Anyway, thanks for watching the review, guys, and have a